An unbelievable performance, an unbelievable win, and what an unbelievable weekend. Arsenal have gone from 6th place to 4th place, and at this moment, at this stage, we are looking good to securing a Champions League spot. And, you know, what a week. If someone had sat me down this time last week and said going into 2 huge games, the North London derby away from home at Wembley, and now going into a game against a side who have not lost in the Premier League under their manager Ole Gunnar Solskjaer since he's taken over. If someone had said to me you're going to get 4 points out of 6 against Tottenham and Manchester United, I wouldn't have believed it. And in reality, we should have 6 points out of 6. We should be in 3rd. If it wasn't for Spurs' cheating and Aubameyang's missed penalty this time last weekend, we would be ahead of Tottenham Hotspur. And we have got a nice run of games now, and it is looking very, very good. And what a performance that was by the whole side. We were miles better than Manchester United. Welcome back to the return of Analysing Arsenal. These are my thoughts and feelings to the game at the Emirates Stadium in the Premier League as Arsenal hosted Manchester United. Always a fiery encounter. The 200th league meeting between Arsenal and Manchester United, coincidentally. So there's a fun fact for you fat fans. So that's straight from the mouth of Martin Tyler. And going into this game, really, nobody expected Arsenal to do anything at all. And we did. We did just that. We did the unexpected, because no one would have. If you had said at the start of the game Arsenal were going to win not just by 1 goal but by 2 clear goals and pretty much dominate the game, you know, no one would have believed that. And we did. We absolutely did. Now, I know a lot of people will say that Manchester United had chances. And yes, they did have chances. Lukaku had some great chances. And if you look at the stats, both sides had 14 shots. 14 shots for Arsenal, 14 shots for Manchester United. Arsenal had 3 shots on target. Manchester United had 4 shots on target. But they didn't do anything. You know, Lukaku, everyone kept saying, oh, what a great performance Lukaku's put in. You know, he looked so dangerous, so clinical. He didn't do anything. He got into goal-scoring opportunities, but what did he do? He did absolutely nothing. And, you know, for 30 minutes, we were quicker, we were stronger, we were faster. We were just everything. We were winning first balls, you know, we were winning the second ball. We were winning every individual battle on the pitch. Arsenal were winning, and we were dominating. We got a very, very kind of, it was a strange goal that Xhaka scored. And, you know, granted, Manchester United are a good side. They're going to create chances. They're going to get into decent positions. But I think we defended very, very well. Yes, we got a little bit of fortune here or there by the referee. But overall, if you look at the overall performance, if you look at Arsenal's overall performance, and if you look at Manchester United's overall performance, Arsenal deserved to win. And I think Manchester United went into the game, firstly, hungover from the events that took place in Paris. And I also think that they kind of just expected, just like what happened in the FA Cup when they came to the Emirates. And I don't know how they won that game either. I don't know how they beat us by 3 goals to 1. They kind of got 2 quick goals. And I just think that they went into this game because they're doing so well under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, because, you know, they haven't lost the Premier League again. They went in just expecting it to fall into their hands, and we showed them. And it really annoys me, it infuriates me actually, how just the media and just the people in general, you know, even when we were tuning up, there's always a but with Arsenal. Now, I understand that we have been, you know, absolutely pathetic, and we've been bottle jobs, you know, over the last kind of 5 years under Arsene Wenger particularly. And there has been moments this season where we have faltered and we have failed. If you look at what happened on Thursday night, and I'll give you my brief thoughts and feelings to that game, as I wasn't able to do an Analysing Arsenal on Thursday, but we have moments this season where we have faltered and we have fallen. But, you know, we have now beaten Manchester United at home, Chelsea at home, and Tottenham at home. That's 3 of the top 5 out of, you know, we're obviously in the top 6, so 3 out of the top 6 that we're included in. We've only lost to Liverpool and Manchester City at the Emirates. Well, we drew to Liverpool, I should say, but, you know, we didn't get a win against Liverpool at the Emirates. We didn't get a win against Manchester City, and you can understand that they're heads and shoulders above any other Premier League team. So, you know, against the big boys, Unai Emery has done very, very well, and I'm seeing a different Arsenal now. We've still got a long way to go. It's still very much a transition, and in this first season, Unai Emery's working out what players can adapt to his kind of ways of working and what players can't adapt to his ways of working. But, you know, I'm seeing a more determined, a more resilient, a stronger side. I think defensively we're much more stronger. To keep a clean sheet, Leno made some absolutely wonderful saves. We got a little bit of fortune by Manchester United hitting the post here or there. And, John Moss, even though, and we'll come on to the penalty in just a second, he had a very controversial game, but he was very much on our side. I'm not saying that he, deliberately was on our side, but his decisions were in favour of Arsenal rather than in favour of Manchester United. And as a Manchester United fan, you can't really complain that it was a soft penalty. I've seen it been given as a penalty, and Fred did push Lacazette down, and there was contact, minimal contact, but it was still contact, and in the eyes of the law, it is a penalty. But what you have to understand is that 4 days earlier, Manchester United got the most softest penalty you could possibly think of to get them into a quarter-final of the Champions League. Without that, Manchester United are out, and would be out of the Champions League. So, you have to understand that in football sometimes these things happen. Obviously with VR coming in, it's going to hopefully eradicate these kind of controversial moments of should it be given as a penalty, should it not be given as a penalty. You're still going to have that debate, because with VAR the referee, the only difference with VAR is that the referee can see it 4, 5, 6, 7 times and then make his decision. But if he still makes the wrong decision, VAR is not solving anything. It's just giving the referees an easier kind of way to judge whether a kind of foul should be condemned as a penalty or not. Let's start with goal number 1. So, like I said, we were stronger, we were faster, and, Xhaka's goal that he scored, it went back, so Maitland-Niles passed back to Xhaka, he went for a shot, and, David De Gea is regarded, and I regard him as the best goalkeeper in the world, and he is the best goalkeeper in the world. Himself and Manuel Neuer are two of the best goalkeepers that we have seen in the modern era of football. And we've seen just how amazing he can be. If we only flash back to December 2017, the 14 saves that David De Gea made. I mean, he saved all of the shots that we had today. There was one game last season where De Gea saved 14 shots. The amount of shots we had today was the number of saves that he made, and we had like 33, 34 shots on that day. And he has been absolutely amazing, and he still is an amazing goalkeeper. And yes, the weather has not been great. As I was out myself yesterday, the wind is absolutely crazy. The rain is absolutely crazy. It does add... it doesn't change the game, but it certainly can cause issues throughout the game. But it's not the sole reason. The sole reason as to why we scored that first goal is that David De Gea had an absolute stinker. He should be doing, so much better. As that ball swerved in, maybe he didn't see it. Maybe he didn't see it until it was too late. But it was almost like he got sidetracked, and actually he forgot that he was a Manchester United goalkeeper. He tried to dive right, but the ball went straight into the middle, and he just got his decisions absolutely wrong. His overall decision making for the goal was absolutely all over the place, and it just didn't look like he cared. It looked like he wanted to be anywhere else but being a goalkeeper at that moment. So it was a strange goal. And we deserved the lead because we were creating chance after chance after chance. Manchester United did have a couple of really dangerous moments where they could have taken the lead, and they should have taken the lead. Lukaku hit the post, Fred hit the post, but we got the lead. And again, if you look at the overall face of play, we deserved to get all 3 points this afternoon. I don't think you can dispute that at all. And when you look at the lineups, I was going into the game. There was 2 trains of thought. I was slightly worried because it was almost like Unai Emery's tactic today was we attack as we defend. Our defence will be attacking. We will go like for like. We're trying to go toe to toe with Manchester United and hope for the best. We've done that in the past, and we have been beaten by Manchester United by 8 goals to at Old Trafford. But I remember actually 4 years ago in 2015, Manchester United came up to the Emirates, and we scored 3 goals inside 20 minutes, playing a very similar way. On that day, we had Sanchez, we had Ozil, we had Walcott. Today, we had Mesut Ozil, Alexandre Lacazette, and Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. We switched to a back 3, and I think Maitland-Niles was absolutely outstanding. I think Kolasinac was absolutely brilliant. I mean, the guy even vomited. He vomited on the pitch, and he still carried on. Like, what an absolute trooper. I couldn't quite believe it. It looked like that he kind of... You see it, all over the place, and, you see it most weeks of play spitting on the floor. But this wasn't a spit. It was like a full mouthful of vomit that was released onto the floor. And he just kind of got up. Obviously, the bench saw that and went over to him and said, "Are you okay to play on?" And he was like, "Yep, and I'll carry on." I thought Xhaka and Ramsey, I think we had a really good balance, and, our entire back 3 and our midfield were compact and defensive, but because Manchester United were leaving gaps open, we went forward as a unit, and that did, because when we lost the ball from time to time, it did create spaces for Manchester United to get into, and on this day Manchester United weren't able to effectively get goals from the chances they got into. But you're always going to have the opposition creating chances against you. It always is going to happen in whatever football match you see. You see Liverpool, concede chances. You see Manchester City concede chances. It happens. And as I said, our overall way that we play, I think Ozil was absolutely brilliant. I think, to a man, every single one of those players gave everything. And that is what we've been crying out for years and years and years. I just want to see, if we had lost this game, very much like last week, I'd be ranting and raving, but not at the team's performance, at how unlucky that we've got. The performance against Tottenham and the performance against Manchester United, to a man, we were confident, we were resilient, we were strong, and we gave it absolutely. Every single one of those players gave 100%, and that is all that I ask from this Arsenal side. Like I said earlier in the video, the penalty was soft. I think had it been given the other way, if it was, say, Koscielny or Rashford, I'd be sitting here ranting and raving and saying it's not a penalty. I'm obviously not sitting here and saying that because, yes, it was a soft penalty, but, I'm not even going to say it was a penalty because I wouldn't have said it was had Manchester United got that decision. It was a soft decision. There was minimal contact. It was very much like the penalty that we conceded to Spurs. I mean, firstly, they were offside, so it shouldn't have even been given anyway, but the penalty was soft. But, it was good redemption for Aubameyang, who had a lot of unfortune with the penalty that he got last weekend, and he stepped up and he looked absolutely terrified, but he showed his bottle and he just put it into the left hand corner. De Gea went the wrong way once again, and that second goal, bearing in mind that we still had 20 minutes to play, we were so strong and so defensively sharp, and United were lethargic and had no energy and weren't at full throttle. Yes, I agree. But they still created chances, and we defended so well. And I think that was, we were as strong defensively as we were going forward. And that's what annoys me, that, all the pundits were saying that, Arsenal look like they're going to concede every time Manchester United go forward and Manchester United will score. Well, guess what? They didn't. And I think that, I actually like, the media, even though it annoys me, scrutinising Arsenal, because it means that we're going under the radar, and we're in a very good position. If you said to me at the start of the season that Arsenal, with 8 games to play, are only a point behind third, I would have taken your hat off. And I still think we're going to salvage the Europa League, just like we did against Bati Borisov. A 2-0 win against Rennes on Thursday night will get us into the last day. Easy. I think that game, we should have been at least 2 or 3 up by half time. The red card that Socrates picked up changed the entire game, and if I was going to do a video on Thursday, I would have been very angry with the team because they gave up in that second half. They gave up, and they looked like they didn't care, and that gave Rennes the confidence to get into the lead and then get that third goal. So that on Thursday was a prime example of Arsenal just giving up. Today, against Manchester United, was a prime example of Arsenal, what they can do when every single player plays to the best of their ability, and does get a little bit of luck here or there, but it's a fantastic win. We're actually not in Premier League action now till the beginning of April. We've got Rennes on Thursday, then it's an FA Cup weekend, so we're not in action at all. Then it's an international break, so our next Premier League game is against Newcastle, and at that time, Chelsea will be level on points, potentially with us, if they beat Everton this time next Sunday. So we may not be in the top 4 going into our Newcastle game, but it's very much in our hands at the moment, and I still think Spurs are falling down. I think that they are slipping and sliding down a very slippery slope. We could be as high as 3rd, and we still got the Europa League. I expect us to go through on Thursday night, but if we get knocked out on Thursday, then we have to simply just win every single game between now and the end of the season. We cannot afford to lose another game. And what's good for Arsenal, what's fortunate for Arsenal, is that we have got a nice run of games now. We've played all of the big boys. We've played Liverpool twice, we've played City twice, we've played Spurs twice, we've played Chelsea twice, we've played Manchester United now twice. And in the big games, particularly at home, we've been sensational, only losing to Manchester City out of the top 6. It's away from home where we have kind of fallen away. and there is a lot of room for improvement, but we are very much kind of, going from strength to strength and looking very strong after this performance and what we've got ahead in regards to fixtures, that we are in a good position to really give the hunt to get back into the Champions League a real true fight. And I think if we get that, that is an unbelievable season for Unai Emery, because that's where Arsenal should be, is to get back into the Champions League, then it's to go for the title. And at this moment, if we look at where we are right now and look at the games that we've got to come, Unai Emery is on course for that. Obviously, as a large part of the season, I mean, I think it was 16 days ago, the Spurs had a 10-point advantage, and now it's been cut from 10 points to 1. It can all change, over a weekend-to-weekend basis. But for the moment, we move on, we march on, and it's a big win to beat Manchester United, to end Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's Premier League unbeaten run. And we move on to Newcastle on April 1st. But then, before that, to round off March, we have got an important night in the Europa League at Rennes, and I will try to get a video up for you guys on that Thursday. That is how I'm going to leave analysing Arsenal there for you guys today. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, and check out my other great content as well. And until next time, this is Bagpuss signing out. Take care, and I shall see you all later. Take care, and I shall see you all very, very, very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.